Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Ask the Team. We thought today we would combine the Ask the Team with our quarterly update because it's quarter three and we like to do an update on high value homes within the Cheshire, North Wales and Wirral areas. And so, we thought we'd kick it off with talking about the quarterly roll up. So during this video, we'll talk about 2025, what's happened so far. We'll also have a little look at the predictions for the rest of the year. We're halfway through the year, so let's have a little look at the predictions for the last 6 months. We'll also look at global events and how that's impacted the market, and of course interest rates could be a change within a week or so, 2 weeks. We'll talk also about the impact on that. And then we'll finish with 7 smart tips on how to sell your house by Christmas. It might seem like Christmas is a long way off, but in actual fact, bearing in mind how long it takes to get a sale over the line.
Won't be long.
It won't be long.
Yeah, so let's have a think back about 2025 so far. So very, very strange 2025, and certainly a bit of a tale of two halves, really. So February through to April, absolutely buzzing. Offers flying in, viewings, level of viewings, phone calls, phone ringing off the hook. So, it was a very, very positive run up in those few months up in towards Easter. And then things did drop off, and some of that was about where the bank holidays were, the good weather that we had, which can actually have a negative impact on people viewing homes. So there was a few things that sort of came together that meant that things did drastically change post-Easter, didn't they?
Yeah, it did tail off. And I think it's continued. When we look now at what's happening, we're finding that inquiries are down by about 30%, viewings are down by about 40%, and so the offers were about 20% down on offers. So there is still some movement, but it's certainly an awful lot slower than it was, and certainly since summer holidays have started. It really has got even more quieter, it feels.
Yeah, and let's think about what's driving it. I mean, there's never been really more choice than there is currently on the market. So there's lots of homes for people to choose from. It's incredibly price sensitive, isn't it? So the difference between 5,000 and 10,000 is a difference between getting a viewing and or selling your home or not. So very, very price sensitive. And there are a lot of homes, because of that, there are a lot of homes that aren't selling. I think there's 22% of homes on the market have been on the market for 6 months or more. So I think that's an interesting statistic as well. If I think about what's driven some of that, so we had tax changes in April, we had the changes to the stamp duty thresholds, and to a certain extent that has a greater impact on the lower to middle end of the market, but there is a ripple effect, and that does ripple up to the people who might ultimately be viewing high value homes. I think there's some good news. Certainly if I think about the last few weeks, it feels like there's a lot of people prepping, there's a lot of people preparing to come to the market. Our diary, which is untypical for this part of the year, is very, very busy. I think we've got about 22 homes now that we're in the process of onboarding, which means photographs and videos and brochures. So these homes are going to be coming to the market at the end of August and into September. So I think the message for me is, it might be a case of waiting during the summer holidays, but certainly be ready to come to the market because we've certainly got high hopes for as we go into September.
Yeah, and just on that point, I've spoken to a few people on our VIP buyers today because we've got some really interesting homes coming to market. So, if you are in the position where you might want to just get prepped for sale, ready for your forever home, then do sign up for the VIP buyers because you'll get advance notice of some of those interesting ones coming down the track.
Yeah, so the market always comes back. I think we've been at this long enough to know that there's always a tipping point. The market does bounce back, and it does feel as if, to a certain extent, that will happen as we go into September. So we've got lots of, as I've mentioned before, we've got lots of properties that are kind of scheduling slots, launch slots, if you like, and the early signs are there. But, you know, back to the sort of what we talked about at the beginning, you know, that is a backdrop of the ongoing uncertainty, what's happening in the Middle East, what's happening with currency markets, the tariffs that has obviously been in the news quite extensively. And it's just general volatility, and which kind of has a knock-on effect from a confidence perspective in the market, doesn't it? So none of that may go away anytime soon, but it certainly does feel as if people are gearing up for a busier September.
Yes, and 14th of August is fast approaching. Our current interest rates are at 4.25. We're predicting that they could drop in order to help the confidence to 4%, hopefully on the 14th. So fingers crossed for that change. I think that will certainly have a positive impact on the market. And then what do we expect to see where's your crystal ball, John? What are we going to see through quarter 3 and beyond?
I mean, definitely a burst of activity, as I've already said, people preparing to come to the market. I think there'll be renewed urgency because of you talking about people wanting to get in by Christmas. And I think it's kind of the old chestnut, isn't it? But well located, well-presented homes will sell in this market. So if that's the kind of home that you've got or you want, then I think it's a case of preparing now. Be ready for that wave when it comes. Don't be behind. Don't wait for that wave before getting your home ready.
And again, you know, some people will say, get it all in the can. Get me ready to go as soon as I find what I want. So that's another option for you. Yes, be prepared. Maybe even get the marketing done, because you can't bring a house to market quickly and not compromise the marketing. So sometimes it's just better to get it done in advance and be absolutely ready for when you find your ideal home.
Tips for selling.
Yeah, 7 tips. So first one, declutter and clean. Make sure all your space is as clutter-free and looks as like a blank canvas as much as you possibly can, without taking the character, of course, of your beautiful home away. Number 2, style your home. So
we know.
We know it works.
Experience tells us the best styled homes get the most attention. You know, it's a simple equation, isn't it? And often there's an opportunity to negotiate upwards on price, because sometimes people want what other people have in their home in terms of furniture and fixtures and fittings. So don't underestimate the power of styling.
The power of styling, and then the power, like you say, the power of negotiation once people fall in love. Number 3, get summer photography done now. Yes.
Yeah, and that's not to say that you'd use summer photography as you go into autumn, but it is to say you've got a greater chance of having sunny days during August as you do when we go into September. So again, it's just the timing.
Yeah, definitely. Number 4, get legal ready. Instruct your solicitor, get together the necessary documents. We've had a few cases recently where there's a little bit of work to be done on land registry. Far better to do that in advance of when you need it, just in case you do get a buyer that wants to move very, very quickly. Get legal ready. Number 5, gather essential information. So make sure your EPC, your utilities information, other facts about your home are ready, so that if you do come to market and we do get questions on it, we've got the answers on file. We'll send you a questionnaire once we're instructed, to make sure that we've got all of that information. But very important, number 5. Number 6, tidy up your outside space. Outside space, really important. We've been to some wonderful English country gardens the last few days, and
not a blade of grass out of place in some of these homes. It's pretty amazing, really, isn't it?
And I love that you say, John, you can often change a room very, very quickly. You can't really do that with a garden. It does need to be a labour of love. It needs to be an investment. So get your garden and outside space space ready. And then the final one?
Book a strategy session with us. So as I said before, our diary's been incredibly busy. We're not expecting that to change in August. It's very surprising for us. So, we'd love to come and meet with you to talk about some of the things we've mentioned there about getting your home ready. And we'll keep people posted with how the market shapes up over the coming weeks. But as Lisa said, it starts with a strategy session that leads on to a figure in terms of a marketing valuation, and from there it may be an option to go to the market or hold back a little bit. Timing might not be right, but I think it starts with that number, and it's not a one size fits all approach. So it may be a case of doing the marketing and holding back on that until everybody's absolutely ready or the market's in a better place.
Yeah. So if you would like a copy of our quarterly update, please do reach out to John or I, or indeed any of the team. We'd be delighted to send it out to you. If you want to book a strategy session, please do. We're not at all about the hard sell. We'll just give you advice about your home. And quite often we meet people years in advance of them bringing the house to market. So it just would be nice to catch up, have a cup of tea maybe, and talk about where you're at and if we can help you. So yeah, thank you very, very much for watching this.
Yeah. And see you next quarter.
See you next quarter. Well, probably see you next week. Thanks so much for watching. Whoops.